Hey, hey y'all. I am back. Of course, I'm back. What choice do I have? I've been gone for a while. I'll be completely honest. I tried to film this a few weeks ago, and it didn't feel right. And I am going to try this again. So, I am going to talk about where I've been. And if you have watched any of my previous content, you'll know that prior to doing my Ratchet retellings and talking about books and other media, I love makeup and I love doing my makeup. So, what I am going to do is I am going to put on some makeup while I talk to y'all about where I've been, what I've been up to, and yeah. So, if you're into hanging out with me, hi, everybody. Hi, humans, aliens alike. My name is Yvonne Ventura. You are in my house. You are on my channel, Yvonne Ventura. And again, I am your host, Yvonne Ventura. So this channel doesn't necessarily have like a rhyme or reason as to what content I want to post because, like I've mentioned before, I pivoted my content because I had felt like I had pigeonholed myself, and I don't necessarily want to just be one type of person. I want to be more of a personality, I guess. So I'm just gonna post whatever I want, and if y'all watch it, thank you. We are currently, surprisingly, with my mental health hiatus, I have gained quite a few subscribers. I have about 60 of them. So welcome to the family, gang, you guys. I'm very happy that you guys have joined me. I am very sorry that I haven't posted anything. I feel like that is part of why I've decided to kind of film something to come back, because I genuinely feel bad that I have people that are wanting to see me and I'm not posting anything. So, hi. I post anything from talking about books to movies, music, my cats. I actually just moved locations. I am sitting in my sunroom. I know this is not like the most flattering angle. I promise I'll figure this out. I'll work on it. But yeah, I got a sign. Actually, I got this sign months ago, back when I was posting more consistently, but I just couldn't figure out where to put it up in the old location, which is like right behind me. But I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Does look more official? I'm a really cramped. I have my desk that I work from home from right here, and there's literally like this much space between me and the table. So I am sucking it in like crazy right now to try to fit between here and the wall. And then my lights are like propped up right here. So that's also why I'm up close to the camera. I'm much closer than I usually am. So sorry. My hair's also gotten really long, and I'm wearing a shirt that says Weird Girls Club, but you can't see it. But in any case, I'm just gonna sit here, do my makeup. I'm actually, part of why I'm doing my makeup is because I was just asked out in the real world how I do my eyebrows. And so I figured, why not just post it? I mean, if people are that curious, then, why don't we? Also, my makeup that I wore to work today was pretty crappy. So I kind of just want to do it over because I felt like it wasn't the bee's knees. So let's start off with some base. So I am a big lover of like kind of dual purpose products like skin tints. So I am using this Versed skin tint. It is SPF 40 and it is in the shade 1C. Y'all can see that? 1C. Almost like I see, like me and my actual last name. So I tend to use my fingers to apply thin products like this. Like thinner products like this, just to really work it into my skin. And I bring it down the neck, okay? That doesn't mean that I don't use any SPF underneath this. I know that that's not how SPF works, but I still like to apply a liberal amount of SPF as like my main base, and then I do this kind of on top of it to, I don't know, seal the deal. That what we're doing? Sure. Seal the deal. Okay. Now, how have y'all been since I've been gone? I would love to hear how you all are doing in your personal lives. If you want to share that with me, please let me know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoy me being a disorganized, chaotic mess, feel free to like, subscribe, share, do whatever. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. Y'all already know. But if I get to 100 subscribers, I am gonna sit. I'm gonna sit. I'm always sitting. I am going to eat. Sorry. I'm gonna eat 100 tacos in a sitting. That's right. Wait. Rewind. Rewind. Let's retract that. I'm going to eat 12 tacos in a sitting. As much as the desire is there is no physical way that I could eat 100 tacos in a sitting. Unless they were like this big, then maybe. But no, I'm going to eat a dozen tacos in a sitting and potentially have a guest on here to tell embarrassing stories about myself. So we can have a party and celebrate 100 subscribers. I keep saying I'm going to eat 100 tacos because of 100 subscribers. And that's not how that's going to work, okay? Mark my words. I will not be eating 100 tacos in a sitting. I can dream, but I also have to be realistic with my dreams. All right? Yeah? Sound right? Let's move on. Okay. So if some of you may or may not have noticed, but I privated one of my last videos, like the penultimate one that I did, not the one with Meet My Pets, because of course I want you guys to meet my pets, but the other one that was about like shopping on Hoopla for library books. The book sucked. Okay, I tried. I sincerely tried. One of them I did listen to like all the way through, and then I was like, how old is this person? Because she had like 3 boyfriends, man. I was I couldn't keep up. And then I had a feeling that it was the second book because there were bits and pieces that I was missing. So then I listened to another one, and again, it was the second book in a series, and then I got frustrated, so then I just quit. This is the Versed Skin Solution Serum Concealer, and this is again the shade 1C. Y'all can't even see that. But yeah, it's in the shade 1C, and I am going to use my little travel brush set because that was tiny and portable, and that was what I could move from one side to the other. Actually, I'm lying to you. I'm going to use my finger just because I feel like using my finger. So I gave up, and to be honest, it's not that I was faking the funk, okay? Because truthfully, yes, I did have a mental breakdown over the holiday season, and it was quite rough. And when I filmed that video, I did feel like I was in a much better place mentally. However, I am one of those people, and you know, if you know me in my personal life, hi, you guys already know, I am somebody that tries to, like, the second I feel a little better, I try to go from a 0 to 100 real quick. And that was essentially what I did with that video. And I promised that I was going to follow through, and it just, I overwhelmed myself. And so then when I get overwhelmed, and this is also part of like executive dysfunction and autism, hello, neurodivergence, neurotypicals. Well, neurodivergence, I'm speaking directly to you. You ever just like get so overwhelmed with something and you don't know where to start? So you just choose not to start? Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. And so I like almost didn't want to come back to the channel because I felt like I had promised stuff, and I was embarrassed to like come back and have my next video be like not that. And then finally I just was like, why don't you just private that? And then I did. And so now I feel like I'm like, okay, maybe, but you should at least come back and excuse your absence. This is just a like stick concealer from a brand that I found at Marshall's. This is Billion Dollar Beauty Flash and Filter Highlight and Concealer in the shade Light. And I did the concealer like on a few spots that I have. All right, let's move on. There's going to be a lot of Versed products in here. You can find them at Target. I believe they are also, like, they're technically Merit, which is found at Sephora, but at a lower price point with similar formulations. Because, you know, even though I have a good job, I always act broke. So this is in the shade, so this is the Versed Warm Dimension Bronzer Stick in the shade August. Comment down below if you know whose birthday's in August that I'm a big fan of. Aside from my cousin Isabel. Shout out to you, Isabel, if you're watching this. Also, can't forget that double chin that's making a grand appearance with this unflattering angle. All right. Let's blend that in with just this random brush. Just enough to like cast a little bit of a shadow. And, you know, me and my bronzer placement, I just kind of like to put it where the sun... Isn't where the sun would hit me? Yeah, like where the sun would hit. You know, on my little 3 head up here. Y'all notice I have a tiny forehead? Like, for real. Like, that's also why I can't really pull off, like, straight across bangs as much as I want to. I think they're adorable, but, like for real. Like, if it was gonna be a bang, like, it would have to be, like, that short. And then that's, like, this much hair. And it's really unmanageable. So... yeah, I usually, like, if I am going to do, like, a face framing, like, a bang of some kind, it usually has to, like, go down to here, at its shortest. I don't know why I'm telling you guys that. I guess I just felt like sharing that. Okay, so the books that I promised to listen to, I didn't because I'm a liar. I'm a liar. What else is going on in my life? In my work, I have a very, like, interesting job where I am essentially like a jack of all trades. I do, wherever the need is, I'm doing stuff. This is the Moira Love Heat Cream Blush in the shade I Adore You. You know, when you say you need me, no, I need you more. Oh no, I'm singing the words wrong. Oh, that song is called Adore You by Miley Cyrus. When you say you love me, no, I love you more. And when you say you need me, no, I need you more. 'Cause I adore you. I adore you. There we go. That's how it goes. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. I am aware that this blush is very bright, but I have blush blindness. Okay? And it's also like a fun, like orangey, like reddish orange. So I also like to put it across my nose because I think it's cute to look a little sunburnt. Isn't it? Isn't it fun? Yeah? Look at that. I don't know. I'm so pale that I just feel like that, like, really brightens up my face. I don't know. Let me know if I'm doing too much. Okay, so at work, what I do for work, it's a very fun job because I not only get to, like, make presentations and, you know, fulfill that performing arts theater kid drive that I have, but now I have been actually teaching and training a class, and that has been so much fun. It feels like performing every single day. It like feels like I'm putting on a show, and then just like seeing my students kind of grow in their understanding of the programs that I'm teaching them has been really rewarding for me. Like I feel very proud of them. Their final exam is actually coming up. So at my workplace, the training curriculum can be pretty intense. It involves a midterm and a final. They all passed their midterm with an average score of 91%. So I'm actually very proud of them. And with their final being tomorrow, I don't know. I'm hoping that it goes well. I know that they are all anxious because essentially, like, if you don't make it, if you don't pass, there's a pretty high chance that where I work, they wouldn't want to continue, with you. And because what I do is so involved, the probationary period is a year. So they're in class for essentially 3 months out of that year. And then if they make it, then we have to see, what the quality of their work is going to look like the remainder of the year. If they don't pass, then it's kind of up to the upper people's discretion on whether or not they want to continue with that person. And so, I went through the same process, God, almost 8 years ago. And I like, when I went through training and I went through class, I kind of, I looked at my instructor and I was like, and I thought to myself, like, I would love to do that one day. Now, that's also part of how I ended up kind of pursuing my current position, because it involved the possibility of training. But I will admit, like, once I got to my current position and I wasn't having to do training, I started to fall in love with the other aspects of what I do. So when I was, kind of randomly pulled to essentially take over this training class, at first I was a little irritated by it because I was like, no, I don't want to train. I'm so busy doing all these other things, all these other projects that I'm working on. But blessing in disguise. And those girls are hilarious. You know who you are if you watch this. I'm rooting for you, for real. And stop with that crap about me me probably not talking to you by the end of training, because I will. So, this is the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder in the shade Porcelain Fair Pink, because I don't know if you know, but I'm pretty cool toned. Because there's not enough blush on my face, I'm going to use this Fresh Peach Morphe 2 stack. And I'm going to use that right there. Oh my God. Yes. Absolutely. Heck yeah. All right. It's not peach enough for me. You know why? We need to go more peach. Not on the cheeks anymore. This feels good. Like, the face makeup feels pretty good. Let's put on, so I have really oily skin, so I tend to use cream eyeshadow as my base, so that way it stays on longer. Also, during the summertime, I tend to kind of gravitate more toward cream products, because they naturally are more like dewy, more glowy. And because I'm oily skinned, I'd rather people be like, is she sweating? Is she greasy? Or is she glowing? Like, I'd rather people ask that, because if I go too heavy and like with like powder products, especially during this time of year, I start to look like a melting candle in the least flattering way possible. It's gross, okay? So this color is actually, like, you can see it's like a peachy nude shade. This is the shade, oh my God. This is the shade, it's the Moira Super Hyped Liquid Pigment in the shade Peach. And check me out. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. We got that on. Let's continue rubbing that in. So yeah, I'm having a blast at work. I'm actually feeling a little bummed that their class is essentially over after the final. I have to grade it, let management know, and let them know if they passed and things that they can improve on, and then I just send them on their way to continue their career. And I sincerely wish them the best, and I hope that the connections that we forged in there continue to last, and you know, that's all I can say. So, I did go to Vegas pretty recently, and though I am on an antidepressant, I did have a conversation with my doctor, and she did say that I was able to have some booze in moderation. Now, I have told you just a few minutes ago that Yvonne Ventura does not know how to just do things, like ease into things. You tell me I can, I'm doing it. 100%. I'm 100, I'm in it to win it. So, from the moment I got to the airport to fly out to Vegas, I had a margarita. Best margarita I've had in a long time. Nothing mattered. Everything felt wonderful. Everything was awesome. And then we land in Vegas. And then what do? I hit up the bar. I hit up the bar. Okay, I hit up the bar. And I get a lemon drop. And suddenly there's this 80s tribute band playing in the lounge, and I'm over there going like this, like I'm singing along, and I'm like, don't stop believing, hold on to that feeling. I'm like losing it in there. Some other lady is drunk by herself, just dancing in the lounge. I'm losing it. I'm having a moment. Life is good. I'm there with my cousin, and I'm just like, what other song did they play? Oh, this is it 90s or 2000s? But whoa, amber is the color of your energy. And I'm like, whoa, yes, sing to me, baby. Having a great time. And then, like a record scratch, my son is there, and he's like, Mom, what are you doing? Y'all, it killed my vibe. It did. I love my child to bits and pieces, but he really does not know how to let a girl live. He was like, Mom, what are you doing? I was irritated. So anyway, didn't stop there. I ended up going to the next day. I started with a pink lemonade tequila infused slushie at 10 in the morning. Now for context, y'all, I am a lightweight, okay? That 10:30 a.m. slushie was enough to essentially keep me riding high until the evening, when I ended up going to the 8 p.m. showing of Tournament of Kings. And because it was Memorial Day weekend, so it was a holiday weekend, it was actually pretty busy, so we weren't able to find tickets where I went with my cousin and then my spouse and my child, and we weren't able to find seats with the four of us, right? Just so they had two, and then directly in front they had another two. So my spouse and my child sat in the row underneath us, and then my cousin and I, who are the same age, my cousin Isabel, shout out to you, we got to sit in the back. And Isabel and I have been having a really good time the entire time we're in Vegas. So we kept that party rolling. And I don't know if you have ever been to Tournament of Kings in Las Vegas at the Excalibur Hotel, but the nights are fine. All right? They are beautiful. They are beautiful. They have me rooting for countries I don't give a crap about. So I'm over there So okay, so the person taking care of the booth shows up, and they're like, "Hey, blah blah blah. What do you guys want? Anything to drink? Blah blah blah." And I'm using this peachy K Beauty palette, and I'm gonna go in with this one to set the peach I've got going on up top. Okay, so he's like, "Hey, do you guys want anything to drink? Blah blah blah." And I'm like, "I want a margarita," because Mama still wants to party, okay? Mama's still trying to have a good time in Vegas. And so then he's like, "Do you want the 16 ounce or the 20 ounce?" Now, at this point, my cousin and I mumbled something to each other in Spanish. And so this guy goes, "Oh, y'all speak Spanish. Where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, well, in Spanish, I said, mi familia es de Guanajuato," meaning I was born here, but my family is from Guanajuato. And, my cousin is like, "Oh, from Guanajuato? Heck yeah, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm from Jalisco." So now we've made a friend. And so now he's like super chummy with us because we all three of us speak the mother tongue. So he's like, "Do you want the 16 or the 20 or the 24?" And I was like, And then my cousin goes, "Oh, get her the 16 because she's a lightweight and I don't need to wheel her out in a wheelchair," she says to the guy in Spanish. And he responds, also in the mother tongue, "Oh, that's what the wheelchairs are for. You're in Vegas." So without me really opining, dude comes back with a 24, and I believe he only charged me for the 16 ounce margarita, but the 24 ounce margarita tasted like there were two 24 ounce margaritas in there, if you understand what I mean. So I take a sip of it and I'm like, "Ooh." And now I'm not complaining because I already said Mama's trying to have a good time. So by the end of, okay, not even by the end of, halfway through margaritas, I'm using this like slightly deeper peach to like hang out in the outer corner. So now I'm having margaritas. Well, now I'm having halfway through my margarita. I start seeing the boys on not downstairs, wait. I start seeing the boys. And I'm like, "Woo!" I propositioned one in the mother tongue. I asked him what time he went outside to go get the bread. And okay, in English it doesn't sound that well, but if you live in a small town in Mexico, the bread guy comes by, and it's a colloquialism to like hit on somebody when you ask them, "¿A qué hora sale por el pan?" Like, "What time are you coming outside so I can see you?" So I shouted, "¿A qué hora sale por el pan?" Like, able, knowing damn well my spouse is like right down there, and I'm like, "Nothing's gonna happen. I'm in Vegas. I'm having a great time. Shut up." And it's a great show. Show ends, right? And we as a former thespian, I appreciate theater, and I try to I got this like deeper shade over here, and I'm gonna try to put it under my eye. Okay, so I try to kind of stay behind if I'm able to talk to the cast and kind of give them my thanks for putting on a great show, and because it is a great show. There's a lot of like physicality in their performance, and so I wanted to compliment them. So, you know how my son like kills the vibe? He runs up to every single one of those actors, man. And he's like, "My mom has a crush on you. Can we have a picture?" Y'all, he had a great time in Vegas. I was honestly concerned that a 12-year-old wouldn't be able to do anything, but he had a great time. Now he's talking about the next time we're in Vegas, and in my mind, I'm like, "Boy, next time I'm coming back to Vegas, I'm coming back to Vegas without you." Which is true. I am going to go back to the When We Were Young music festival in October. But yeah, like he straight up like narked on me. I was like, "I cannot believe you." And so then it was a very short Vegas trip, so it was only for a weekend. So on the way home, we were at the airport again, and you know what it is. I got another margarita. Because why not? So I get another margarita. And I forgot that I hadn't had breakfast. And I lost my ability to read at the airport. It's kind of terrifying, but at the same time so freeing. Like like it just was like nothing really matters to me. Like it just kumbaya. It was wonderful. 10 out of 10. Drinking in Vegas. Drinking in Vegas. 10 out of 10. All right. I think I mentioned it. I'm using the darkest shade just to kind of give myself a feline flick. Just at the end. Just at the end. I don't like to bring it all the way through because I feel like my eyes, I don't have enough lid space to be able to do that. But I don't know if you see, but my eyes kind of point down if I don't kind of change their shape and like pull them up. Or give the illusion, because you can't pull up your eyes, right? But you can at least put in shadows to try to, you know, trick the eye a little bit. But yeah, so I went to Vegas. I went to Vegas instead of hitting up the local music festival in my area because the lineup was not very good. And I feel like my cousin and I are going to continue to do that because it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to just travel just because. I feel like we tend to get lost in the idea of, just hanging out with family or visiting family when you should just use your time to like explore. Yeah. Okay. See this little freckle? I love that freckle. Yeah. Now we're working. I always like to highlight it. Okay, so inner corner highlight. I'm going to go back to that Morphe 2. And I'm going to just a little, just a little, just a little. It just gives, just gives a little flirtiness to the eyes that wasn't there before. A little, hey, look, Cece, look, Cece, coming down the lane. Here goes Spot, here goes Dot, here goes Chicken Jane. Y'all know where that's from? Comment and let me know. Oh my god, can you tell I grew up without cable TV? Okay, I went to Vegas. Can you tell I wrote notes? I did. I have notes over here. All right. Something that I am actually pretty excited about. So this week, I am pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I have been, like I've been hinting at, I have been in a really good headspace, meaning that I genuinely, I've been really creative lately, and I've just been really, I don't know, finding the things that I love to do again. And I'll touch more on that. But I used to, when I was in high school, okay, I did not peak in high school. I still know that I have a life left to live, and I have an identity outside of who I was in high school. But I do bring that up to mention that when I was going to school, I really loved theater. I loved not so much theater, but I really loved singing. And embarrassingly enough, of course, when you're in high school, you kind of frame your identity at, as the greater group of your peers. There was already a singer in the class. So that girl, she was a lovely girl. But she was known as the singer. And so I didn't want to be in competition with her. So I carved my own lane in being the actress that occasionally sang for her theater, because that's theater kid. She's an actress, but she can sing, versus she's a singer. What I've always wanted, and I'm going to just say it out loud, I wanted to be a singer. Okay. Acting came very naturally to me because, again, I have autism. I am very good at masking. So, of course, being asked to play a part is something that I've done naturally my entire life. So it was easy for me, and it was a good outlet, and it was nice to be able to sing from time to time. And it was one of my greatest passions at that point in my life. And so when I graduated high school, I developed stage fright, essentially. Not out of nowhere. I was surrounded by people that didn't necessarily. I don't know why my family does this, okay? I love my family, but I had a lot of like goals, visions, and dreams that I was discouraged from because it was a risk. And I was always told to stay humble, to keep it safe, don't push the boundaries. You're living a wonderful, stable life. Why do you want more? You shouldn't want more. You should be happy with what you have. I always felt like I wanted to be more, you know? And and I let the external voices get to me for a very long time. And I would tell people all the time that I'm retired, that I don't sing anymore. Until with me journaling and going through this mental health crisis, I will be open and admit that a lot of my anxiety attacks would happen when I would start thinking about, okay, I'm afraid of death, okay? I am afraid of death. And I would just start thinking like, this is all going to end someday. And when I shut my eyes for the final time, am I going to be happy with how I lived my life? And that was enough, to trigger the shortness of breath and the panic attacks that would make me faint, the crazy heart rate, which thankfully I haven't felt anything of that magnitude since February. Knock on wood, right? Knock on wood. Knock on wood. I haven't felt that since February, but yeah, I had to, through journaling, be really honest with myself about like what is it that's making me snap like this. And it's just feeling that I've been living a life that other people have told me to live when there's other things that I've wanted to do that I didn't let myself do because it was a risk. And so I say all that to say that I'm at a point in my life where I'm done living for other people. I'm done pretending like this quiet, stable, white picket fence life is the life that I'm happy with, because this is just what, like, I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful that I have a stable job. I have a stable income. I have, a loving partner, a child. I have my cats. I have a home. I have a reliable vehicle. I have all of these things, right? And this is essentially what I'm living is my parents' version of the American dream, because that is what they aspired to have when they came to this country. And so I'm living the life that they want for me, right? And it's a good life. It is. But it's not the life that I feel like I'm meant for. I don't know if that's coming across correctly, but I just feel like I'm meant for like bringing joy to people. I'm meant for entertaining people. I'm meant for having people hear me and know that they're not alone, that I just feel like I'm meant for something more. I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. I've genuinely always felt that way since I was a child. I just felt like it's gonna make me sound nuts, but I just feel like that I'm not supposed to just live this quiet provincial to quote Beauty and the Beast, this provincial life. Like, I'm not meant to just, do my 8 and work Monday through Friday and be off on the weekends until the day I die. I don't know. I don't know. Does anybody else feel that way? Like, I guess I wouldn't be posting content if I didn't feel that way. And me posting to YouTube essentially is a risk, right? But I've never felt more in tune or aligned with myself without posting content to the internet or writing. I've started writing poetry again. I haven't written poetry in years. I'm writing a novel. So that's also where I've been spending a lot of my time, a lot of my evenings. I've just been typing away at a novel. I have a very vivid imagination, and so I've had this story in my mind for some time, and I just started typing it, and then it just grew. And so now I'm at 500 pages, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I know, like, but it's just so fulfilling to tap into that creativity again. A creativity that I ultimately, like, bottled up, and because I felt like that wasn't, that's not the life I'm supposed to be living because of listening to everybody else. And so I guess maybe I should say, if you are, on the younger side and you have family that make you feel like you're not talented enough, or that you can't make it, or that why bother, why, when you can live such a quiet, happy life here. Don't let other people's fears keep you from living your life. If you know in your heart what you want to do it. It makes me so sad that it took me it took me until age 31 to realize that my life is mine to live, and if I don't live it, it's gonna just pass me by. So I didn't expect to get into such a heartfelt topic, but I was honestly bringing that up to say that I've been in this headspace for a while, and kind of out of the blue at work, so where I work, it is a hi, Charles. Where I work, it's essentially like a bunch of different departments working for one big department, right? And so the greater department is having an agency-wide talent show. And I signed up. To sing. And so I am performing for the first time since essentially 2012. That's when I graduated high school. Hello, 31. I'm old. So, yeah, I've been nervous. Part of me hears those voices in my head from, family saying, you're not that talented. I don't know why you think that you are. You're going to, just make a spectacle of yourself. You're going to be ridiculous. And I'm trying really hard to actively work against those voices because I know what I want. And I feel like doing this, even though it's just some, stupid work talent show, right? Or it's just for fun. I just feel like it's the first step in, like a first step to me into something greater. So if I start feeling like more adventurous or more comfortable in my voice, I may post covers here from time to time. If y'all would watch that, if y'all are into that, let me know. Or you know what? I'm just gonna post it and say screw it. Just if you're wondering, if you're trying to keep up, I used this I used this e.l.f. Instant Lift Waterproof Brow Pencil in the shade Auburn for my eyebrows, and then I'm going to use this e.l.f. Brow Laminating Gel to get my hairs in my eyebrows to stick up. So yeah, I've just been in a whole other headspace. And, you know, it's also helped me kind of ask myself, like, what, like, when my anxiety was at its worst, I kept asking myself, like, why would this happen to me? Like, why, why me? I'm somebody that, is so fiercely independent. I can, I'm the rock in the family. I take care of everybody else. Why? What's happening to me? And I think I think honestly, I lost my way. I lost my way because again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I've been living I've been living the life that everybody else has told me I should live. And I've been forcing myself to be happy with just that. When deep down inside I know what I want. And what I want is to love and be loved. To quote Moulin Rouge, the greatest gift you'll ever learn is to love and be loved in return. But I say that in the scope of, like, in the frame of, like, entertainment. Like, I just feel like I was meant to, like, make people laugh or to do something with all of the, like, why else would I have such a massive personality if I'm not supposed to use it? You know? Like, and that's something that was always, like, a point of contention in my upbringing as well. Being told that I'm too this or I'm too that, I'm too loud, I'm too assertive, I'm too opinionated, I'm too intense, I'm too headstrong, I'm too much. I shine too bright. And screw it, get sunglasses. I'm done. So yeah, the talent show will be at some point this week. Let me, like, wish me luck. I hope. Wish me luck. I hope I do well. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back and let you know what I ranked or where I placed. But I'm going to be singing the song "Si Una Vez" by Selena. So I need to actually practice the lyrics once I'm done filming this. What else am I supposed to talk about? I have been to the movies. I saw Sinners. I really hope that the Frou Frou movie critics recognize Michael B. Jordan for his performance in Sinners. He gave a performance. He performed. I haven't seen a performance of twins that good since The Parent Trap. Like, let's keep it 100. Like, he did so well, and I'm just in awe. I think he did fantastic. And yeah, Ryan Coogler, beautiful cinematography, very well shot, fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, find a way to see it because it's really good. I also saw Thunderbolts and realized that I'm deeply in love with Florence Pugh, and also deeply in love with Sebastian Stan. But we already knew that I like Sebastian Stan, not just Sebastian Stan, but the Winter Soldier. And can I be shameless and say that I want him to choke me with his robot arm gently? Because I know that he wouldn't kill me. He'd be tender. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, Yvonne, settle down. I'm sorry, but when Sebastian Stan comes up in a motorcycle looking fine as hell, killing bad guys, you expect me to not, like, fawn all over this delicious man? Whew. Again, my son looked at me. We're in the theater. And he goes, "Mama, do you have a crush on that man?" And I said, "Hell yeah." And then he leaned over to his father and said, "Hey, Mom has a crush on that guy on the screen." Because again, my son can't be trusted with my secrets. I'm using a Korean mascara. It is the Espoir mascara in the shade Clean Black. It's also vegan. For those are y'all. I try to buy cruelty-free brands as much as I can, just so you know. Cruelty-free meaning that they don't test on animals. I would love to try to get as many vegan products as possible, but it's really hard to find. Especially like me, I'm into reds and, burgundies, and it's hard to find a good vegan red. So I settle for cruelty free. I am curling my eyelashes. I am aware this is not the most flattering angle, but bear with me. So, I saw Thunderbolts. I saw Sinners. I am going to be seeing The Materialist this weekend. Now, y'all know exactly why I'm going to see The Materialist this weekend. Two big reasons. Chris Evans and Pedro Pascal. Pedrito, búscame, que aquí te estoy esperando. And Chris Evans, I've been truly, madly, deeply in love with you since I saw you as Captain America in 2012. But look at me now. I'm 31. I'm aware you're married now, sir. But if that falls apart, well, my marriage would have to fall apart too, and that's kind of unlikely. All right. Look at that. I just love this mascara. Like, it really just brings the wow to my eyes. And it holds a curl. Because, I'm sure you can tell, but I have quite long lashes. Gravity does not work in their favor because, like the hair on my head, they are quite thick and heavy. So, most mascaras don't hold them up. So I'm stuck kind of, essentially with like droopy lashes and droopy eyes. So it's hard to, find a good mascara that'll keep them up. So that way my eyes look more open and alert. So, I am going to put on this lip balm. Okay, let's look at my mouth. Do we see how my bottom lip is slightly smaller than my top lip? I'm only bringing this up to you today. I never want to bring it up again. Don't make fun of me for it. I am insecure about it. So what I'm going to do is I tend to overline my bottom lip just a little bit. Just I can almost taste it just a little bit. That is a song called Just a Little Bit by Robbie the Used, Burt McCracken's solo project. It's actually quite good. Okay. All right. Yes? We see in the vision? Hi, Chuck. Oh my God, I have not shaved my mustache in a minute. Girl, that mustache is prevalent. Is it obvious here? Hopefully not. Oh, you know what, Chris Evans? You know what, Pedrito? Maybe you'll be fine with a little mustache. All right. These are also K-Beauty products, by the way. I use a lot of K-Beauty because I'm quite fair-skinned, fair-complected. So, Korean products are just kind of made for my, really pale skin. So they understand my undertones very well. You know who also understands undertones really well? Black-owned brands. Black-owned brands, for sure. Juvia's Place, great cream bronzer for me, and great powder for me, too. So, shop black-owned brands, shop cruelty-free. What else do I want to talk about? Okay, new music that I have been jamming lately. Allie and AJ just dropped an album called Silver Deliverance. So, Silver Deliverer? Silver Deliverer. So good. If you like quiet, like soft rock, folksy type stuff, Allie and AJ is your vibe. If you like to romanticize your life and walk around and feel like you are the main character and you are just sitting there and brooding and thinking about your life, Allie and AJ, 1000%. So good. So good. I have also been listening to a new album dropped by one of my favorite dance pop artists, Dragonette. She has teamed up with The Knox, and they have released a collaborative album called Revelation. It is 8 beautifully done songs. Love Me Alive has been my favorite song in months. I have been listening to it on repeat because I'm autistic. I'm going to wear it out. I'm going to listen to it 100 times over until I'm sick of it. I cannot listen to anything else aside from Allie and AJ's album. So I'm like rotating between Allie and AJ's album and then Revelation. And the other artist that is in my rotation heavily, tell me why I just discovered Chase Atlantic. There's these little Australian boys that make like alternative trap. I don't know what I would describe it, because I wouldn't necessarily say, well, there's guitars. So would I call it trap rock? R&B trap rock? Something. It's a blend of, it's a beautifully addictive blend of genres. Let me give you some songs to look up. Into It. I want you to also listen to The Walls, and I want you to listen to Heaven and Back, and I also want you to listen to, oh my god, there's so many. They're all such a vibe. Okay, just warning, Chase Atlantic just sings about drug use and mental health issues. But it's great stuff. Highly recommend. Like, jump on the train. Chase Atlantic. Whatever you guys are doing, I'm into it. I'm into it. If you wanna me later, yeah, I'm into it. What else did I want to talk about? I was already kind of hinting at, my mental health journey. So let's talk about more of that. I did have a bit of a regression. Sleeping in my bed has been very difficult. And I'm very lucky that I have a spouse that is, for the most part, understanding. Now, granted, I mean, you're a married couple, you want to share a bed, right? So there have been, a few comments here and there, and I know that he doesn't mean anything by it, but it's hard to not feel, bad about it. So last night was the first night I tried to sleep in the bed again, for the last couple months. Not gonna lie, it was a rough night. So I tried to, I sent him away so that I could try to sleep in the bed by myself just to see if I could do it. And I'm gonna keep trying. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like I either need to redecorate the room as a whole. I don't want to have to invest in a brand new bed because that just sounds really expensive, and the bed is in really good condition. But it would be nice to have my life back, to just close that chapter, and be able to live again. Because for the most part, I mean, other than that, I've just kind of learned to live with my anxiety. My anxiety is definitely linked to my hormones. And I say that because whenever I'm going to be on my period, it gets significantly, there's for the most part, I live my life almost as if my anxiety is not there. My paroxetine 20 milligrams and my determination to be well have made it so little to non-existent. I will say. Like, I've felt better than I ever have. I've felt more myself than I ever have. I'm sure you can hear in my voice. I'm much more like I'm standing in my power more than I ever have. And you know, I'm in that era where like I really like myself right now. I do. I do. And yes, I might be fluffy, but you know what? I'm pretty, I'm funny, I'm smart, I'm talented, I'm creative. And I'm clearly full of myself. So, I'm also driving. Like, driving has been, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, hot days do trigger me, but it doesn't stop me from completely, like, being able to drive. So, um, I just, it hasn't, the anxiety has not been crippling, but I will say, when I am about to get my period and like the first day of my period, um, I can feel that I have anxiety. Does that make sense? Like, I can feel that it's there. Whereas, you know, when it's not those times, or when it's not that time, it just kind of like recedes to the back of my mind as like I know it's there, but it just doesn't, it's not at the forefront. And then period comes and it's like right here where like I'm aware that it's there, but it's not controlling my life anymore. So that's where I'm at. Um, and I think that I will end the video here. Thank you for listening. If you've stuck around and listened this whole way through, I really appreciate you. If you want to talk to me more, see what I'm going to do with this channel, like, subscribe, share the video. I'm looking forward to reconnecting and reintroducing you guys to me and who I am now. Because who I am now is even louder than who I was before. More authentically so, I would say. So, just thank you for the support, and I will see y'all on the next one. Deuces.